Josh, just how much do you want to be able to use tight ends as receivers, as receiving weapons, and where do you feel like this group is in that endeavor right now?
Well, we would like to use tight ends as receiving weapons. Obviously, if they're on the field, you want them to be a threat. So that kind of goes unsaid. We love throwing to the tight end. They're obviously big targets. They do a great job of catching the ball in space. But where we're at right now, we're developing a young guy in that role. We've got a guy coming back off of injury that at some point will be available. We don't know when that is, and then we've got some other guys that are doing a good job. But we're still developing that part of our unit, and we'll see where it heads from here.
Yes, but to what extent has the development of Rico been important? Just because you maybe don't know where George is right now.
Well, no question. His development's been it's been very important to the role of our offense, and he's shown some great flashes of being a really good player. He's just got to get more consistent. Unfortunately for him, he had an injury right at the beginning of camp that held him out about a week, and he's back and doing great. But obviously, we've got a lot of guys that haven't played a lot of football, so some of the little things that just veteran guys and seasoned guys know and pick up on, we're still teaching guys, So it's like Coach Shearer said, we've got 4 days left to keep working, and we're working every day to put our best on the field.
Are you ready to talk about your offensive line, your starting offensive line being set at this point? And if so, is there something about Brady that Joyner that allowed him to emerge as the starting center?
Well, I don't know that we've released a depth chart or anything. Yeah, so I'm just going to stay away from that. You can ask Coach Odom that question.
Okay. This team played from behind almost exclusively last season. Just how much of an emphasis is there on starting fast, and how do you try to, I guess, as much as you can, control that with how you're approaching the game plan?
Well, number one, right from the beginning, Coach Odom says last season has nothing to do with this team. Every season is new in college football now. I mean, even newer than it has ever been. And so every year is that way. Obviously, we want to start fast. Obviously, we want to start playing our best football right off the bat. And that is going to be our goal and our intent to do that. But sometimes that doesn't happen, and you have to keep hammering away until you get to the point to where you're executing well, and you got to stay the course. But our intent certainly is to start fast.
Josh, what's your philosophy as a play caller? Do you script plays going into this, or do you let the situations kind of dictate what you're going to call as you go along?
Well, I'm always going to build little series and scripts in my mind of how I would like for the game to set up, but the game changes all the time, so you have to adjust. And you have to get to your plays that are designed for the situations that you're in. So any game I've ever called, you kind of hope that it goes a certain way. I mean, I don't know, maybe 30% of them do, and then you got to be ready to adjust, and that's what we get paid to do, is to go make the adjustments we need to make and go put our guys in the best position to go make plays.
I think you mentioned this a little bit late last week, but the flexibility you have with a mobile quarterback, do you just kind of have to trust him to make the right decisions sometimes, or is there maybe more leeway for him to take off and scramble if he sees something, or what's the...
Well, a guy that can extend plays anytime with his feet is an advantage, and keep plays alive. And then obviously, a guy that can also go scramble and get yards makes it frustrating for the defense. So fortunately, all of our quarterbacks are mobile. They can all run. There's different degrees of that, but they're all mobile. And so is that an advantage for us when not everything goes right in the passing game? Sure it is.
And then last thing, he asked about Rico. George was somebody that last spring, when that happened, don't think he's going to be ready to go, and he's been slowly working his way back. Just to get him back so quickly, how big of an impact is that for the tight end room and for the offense to have that additional weapon?
Well, number one, great credit to George. Great credit to Cam Ortle and our training staff and all the hard work they've done with him. I mean, because they have worked extremely hard for him to just be in position, this early in his process to have that opportunity. So we'll see where he's at through the week. But George is very important to our team. We know the impact he can have. He's going to be a really good player. We got to make sure he's healthy and ready to go when we put him on the field.
Josh, do you script the first 10 or 15 plays of every game?
Yes and no. I mean, I know that's a cop-out, right? I do. I script plays, but I don't necessarily, I'm going to stick to that script. If I'm feeling something or I'm seeing something that's different, I'm going to adjust right off the bat. I've got groups of plays on my call sheet in my head that are good for different fronts, different coverages, whatever that is. In the first game, they could come out and do anything. You could look at film from all last year. They could be all 4 down. They could come out and play all 3 down. They could be all certain coverage. They come out and play different coverages. So, yes, you plan your best plans for what you have seen them do, and then you certainly have to have contingency plans after that.
I don't think we know yet, but where will you be on game days?
In the box.
Well, why do you like being in the box?
I like to be able to see everything from upstairs. I like the calmness of the box. I always felt like I operated the best and made the best decisions when I was removing my emotions as best I could from the game.
And then just Ryan, are you happy with where he's at and ready to go at this point and go head into game 1?
Yeah, I'm happy with where he's at. He has shown flashes of being a really, really good college quarterback. Every day, we're working to get better, and every day we're working on decision-making processes, delivering the ball on time, getting us in the right plays, all those things, but very happy with where he's at.
Based on what you've seen from just the Ball State coaching staff, what kind of challenges can they present for you guys defensively?
Well, they play extremely hard and they're aggressive, but at the same time they're sound, and they know their personnel just based on last year, and they did a really nice job, I thought, of developing scheme or calling scheme that fit their personnel and what their abilities were. So I think they're going to be a great challenge. The head coach went to school here. They're right here up the road. They're going to be fired up to come play us. It's going to be a great challenge and a fun game.
Speaking of building scheme to feature what you have, how big of a challenge is it nowadays when you have this many new guys coming together in a short period of time, building a scheme to put those guys in the best positions possible when you're still learning about it?
Well, no question, and I think it's going to be a process that's ongoing. We'll watch it Saturday and see where we're at. Certainly, you have to start somewhere. It's not just like every week you're doing something new, right? I mean, you have to say, okay, we're going to do these things, and you get a base of what you do. But obviously, the small tweaks and adjustments and plays off of plays as you move along that fit players' skill set is what you're trying to figure out. So I feel good about where we're at, putting our guys in position and asking them to do things that they're good at this point. And then it's going to be fun because we're going to get on the field and see how good we are at it against an opponent.
More questions for Coach Henson? All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Love Coach.